Hey guys, it's Brittany. So, today's gonna be a movie review, and today I'll be reviewing the movie Dracula. And Dracula is just a really good classic horror monster universal movie, and it is just great. It is. So it came out in 1931, but let me look up on the day, the day that it actually released. Let me look here. Okay, so directed by Todd Browning, and of course, it was based on the book of Bram Stoker, uh, Dracula. I'm so sorry. Somehow that just accidentally slipped a little bit. Uh, Caught myself there. Whew, that would be a whole different thing, wouldn't it? So starring Bela Lugosi, David Manners, Helen Chandler, Dwight Fry, and Edward Van Sloan. And it was released in theaters February. Oh, interesting. February 14th, 1931. So it was released on Valentine's Day. Wow. So it must be some interesting romance horror monster movie. So interesting. Very interesting. um, I think that's actually quite neat that it came out that day, and I don't think it was anyone's intention for it to be released on Valentine's Day. I don't think so, but I think they just thought, okay, well, now that the movie's done, let's just pick a day for the movie to be released, and who knows, maybe they thought, okay, we could release on this day, even though it's not really a romance really or anything, even though it does have some romance, but maybe they thought, hey, this will still be a good day for Dracula to be released in theaters and everyone to go see it. Who knows? So yeah, I don't think it was intentional in any way, or it could have been, I don't know, but maybe not. But and for those who haven't seen the movie Dracula, if you would like to see it, I do recommend it. So it says here, Lugosi portrays Count Dracula, a vampire who immigrates from Transylvania to England and preys on the blood of living victims, including a young man's fiance. So yeah, and I really gotta look this up though, because I don't know the reason why to this, but Dracula has three vampire brides. Why is that? I don't know. Either because he just doesn't want to be lonely and he wants to have some company, maybe some companionship of having three female vampire brides, and maybe because I do think that with Mina, that she was gonna be the one who was gonna be his next victim, but maybe she was gonna make her his fourth vampire bride. I I think that's what he was going for. I think that's what his intention was. I think. I gotta watch it again. Um, I do. So, yes, this is a good horror universal monster movie, and So yeah, with this story, it shows how Dwight Fry, who, what was the character's name again? Oh, oh yeah, Renfield. Okay, how can I forget? Somehow it must have slipped my mind for a little bit. Like, but no. So when he goes to Transylvania to talk to Dracula, but when he goes there, people warn him not to go there, but he tells them that he has to. But when he does go there, and even the ride up there, it's just strange because um first he was led to this carriage, because someone had dropped him off, and at this carriage Dracula is there, but he doesn't know that's him. And then at some point when he's gonna ask the driver, I think where they're going, or if they hadn't arrived yet, or is this the way to Dracula's castle? And then he doesn't see anybody driving the carriage, because all he sees is just the bat flying, like leaving the carriage. So he's still driving even though he's flying as a bat. So after that, he doesn't ask anything else. And after that, he's like, okay, I don't know what I just saw. So he uh, just, pretty much kept that to himself. And so on the way up to the castle, then he meets with Dracula. And so when he does meet with him, I think he went over there to discuss with him about something. And so as he was going over it, at some point he cuts himself. I think it was a paper cut, and he was bleeding. And then Dracula gets distracted by his blood, because at that point he is tempted. He wants to, you know, drink his blood. And so, but at some point, I think that, I'm not sure when this happened, but I think it was somewhat soon, where Dracula did bit Renfield, and I think he had turned him into a vampire. And I think, yeah, Renfield, he wasn't a complete vampire just yet, because I think he was in the process of becoming one. I believe that's what was happening, because then his behavior was so strange. It was getting bizarre and just like, kind of freaky too, creepy. And so when they both arrive to England, and he meets Mina, yeah, he really has his eyes on her, and I think he saw her and thought, she's so beautiful, and that she would become her. That she would become the next victim, but I think he was going to make her his bride. I believe that's what it was. And so yeah, I think he because he did bit her, and when he did bit her when she was sleeping, okay, that even sounds creepy to say out loud. Oof. So when that happens, then she starts to change, and her behavior was getting strange and unusual, and she was not herself at all. And so she was also behaving towards her fiance in such a way that was just, very unusual. And he was, of course, getting very concerned for her. And so Van Helsing, the vampire hunter, he was telling them, like, I think he was telling him, and I think his father, of what was going on, and then how Dracula is a vampire, and how you'll know because when he looks in the mirror, he won't see his reflection. And and so at some point he doesn't believe that, but at some point I think he does believe that Dracula is a vampire. And and so when Van Helsing at the end finally kills Dracula, driving a stake through his heart, that Nina comes out of Dracula's trance. And so I think the transition of her becoming a vampire just stopped. It just ended, and since she was in his trance, even that just ended as well. And so after that, she snapped out of it. She got out of that trance, and she was herself again. And so yeah, after that, things went well. And it had a good ending, which I'm glad it did. But yeah, sometimes with these Universal monster movies, sometimes the monster does get killed, and sometimes they don't. Well, actually, I think so far, most of them in these ones have been killed, at least in the end. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, they have been killed, each one, I believe. Um, yes, this is just a really great movie, Universal monster movie of Dracula. And yeah, it's just something that I do enjoy watching, and I just love these Universal monster movies. I really do. I enjoy watching them, and it's just one of those movies, where it's a classic, and it always will be a classic, and will always be one of those um really great movies to watch. And considering how long ago it came out, it still stands out. It's still one of those great vampire movies to watch. And this one was also one of the earliest, I believe, because if I remember right, I think the very first um, vampire movie that came out was actually Nosferatu, and that came out in the 1920s. And I think Dracula was also one of the earliest vampire movies that came out, except this one is completely different from Nosferatu, and this one just takes on a different take of the story of Dracula. Um, so yeah, so yeah, definitely. So yeah, I just enjoy watching these kinds of movies. And to me, no matter how old it is, it's still great to watch. And that's something I think when it comes to these movies, no matter how long ago it is, that is something it should be appreciated, and to just to watch it, even if it's like for the fun of it, uh for how classic it is, and even how back then when they told these stories, it was done in a different way without technology, but yeah, they did a really great job. And I just love the cast. And I gotta say that Dwight Fry, who played Renfield, he did an amazing job, because first you see him were before his, I think, transition into a vampire. So first he seemed just like any other guy, and he just seemed normal, but in a way where he wasn't, how he was acting as a strange vampire in a way. And so yeah, we see him where he's just like completely fine, like where he's himself, or when he was human, but then when he got bit by Dracula and he's going through this transition of becoming a vampire, and also now he's, I think, sucking blood of animals, even of, I think, even eating insects, which is just so gross. But even the way he was acting with the transition he was going through, which was so strange, which is also quite creepy as well, and just bizarre as well. But his performance was just so convincing that you believe that, oh, like, okay, this is what's happening, and it just has you feeling in a way creeped out and a little freaked out, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, he did a really great job with that. And with Bela Lugosi, he was the perfect choice for Dracula. It really was, because um, he not only, I believe he looked the part, but he just, even his performance as Dracula was just also convincing, and it was just very different, and it was just something that really stood out, and it's just something that is just so different from any other Dracula performances in any other films that have came out even after. So because I've seen other vampire movies and even other Dracula movies, and I would say there are some that I do like, but there are some where it's like, what? But this one, I say, this is where it really does well, and it really stood out, and it told the story so well, and the performances are great, and I just love the whole cast, and everyone did a great job, even with the music, and just even with the effects that they had to use at the time. uh, Even though it wasn't a lot, but even what they had to do, just to tell the story, it was just great. So yeah, I love it. And um, so yeah, actually, and I think, as we all know, that the new version, the remake of Nosferatu, um, is coming out this year, I believe. Yeah, it's coming out this year, so there is a trailer for it, and I will be reacting to it. Although, when I do, it's not going to be any time soon, though, but I will be reacting to it at least sometime in July, so you'll get to see that. And yeah, so speaking of which, in case if you're seeing me wearing a different necklace, yeah, I'm actually wearing my cross necklace, and that's something that vampires hate too. They hate the cross, because that's something that scares them off. Because of course they are, in fact, unholy creatures. Because they're vampires, they suck blood, and it's something I believe that vampires are the kind of monsters where it's like, in a way, demonic creatures, because of what they do and how they live, and how they're the living dead, and how they have no soul. So yeah, that's how I look at it. So the reason why I'm wearing this is because, of course, um, it's one of my necklaces. Um, but also I have a box of my other necklaces that I have worn in my videos before. And plus, I recently, there were some things that had gotten out from storage, so I now have my movies on DVD, and I also have my dresses. And I know I haven't mentioned that, but there are some dresses that I had bought from last year, and because of when me and my family were moving, I never got the chance to wear them in my videos of the house I was living at before. But now that I have them and everything, you'll be seeing me wearing at least, yeah, not at least, but you'll be seeing me wearing these dresses in videos. It won't be in every video, but it'll be in some videos. Because there'll be times where I'll be wearing maybe some blouses, but then you will see those videos where I'll be wearing one of those dresses. So I can't wait to show you and to be able to wear them, because I know this is getting off topic here from the movie review, but I just wanted to mention that real quick. So yes, this is my review for Dracula, and my rating for it. Okay, let's see. I'll give it an A plus. I'll give it a. Okay, I will definitely give it a 9 out of 10, and let's see, I will give it 85% and 4 stars. Yeah, definitely. So that is my review and rating on Dracula. So for more movie content, reactions, dreams, and the paranormal, subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. That's all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.